Good morning, ladies, and welcome to this week's vlog. Well, it is Saturday morning here, and I just finished cleaning up the kitchen for the morning, and that's exactly where I am at the moment. And I have to say, we had the most extraordinary weather week here in Upper Michigan. It felt like one for the record books, but then again, I'm looking at the 2-week forecast, and it looks like a lot of the same. It looks as if tomorrow, which will be Sunday, will be a bit warmer. And by warmer, I mean a high of 86. So all week it's been like in the low to mid 70s and in the 50s at night. So I slept with the windows open. It was glorious. It was a little difficult to relay the forecast information to my husband because he was in Orlando last week for business, and when he was telling me about the feels like temps there reaching in the over 100 degrees, plus the humidity there is next level, I almost felt a teensy weensy bit bad. Now, I wish I could have experienced a little bit more of the weather outside this week, but I have zero regrets because I really finally, I feel, caught up with work. Now, I don't think my clients would have known any different, but to me, I was in the proverbial weeds. I think I mentioned before we had onboarded 6 new clients in a short amount of time. I obviously want everyone to have my undivided attention, which meant back to back meetings. And then after that, I needed to follow up on my meeting notes, which meant I was oftentimes working until 11:30 p.m., scheduling emails to go out the next day. Anyway, this is not me trying to play the world's tiniest violin for me here. I am so thrilled with any and all the work I can get because I find it so gratifying. I love what I do. It was just sort of unprecedented, and I just didn't want anything to get backed up. Anyway, so I am here also to deliver a little news and plot twist with regard to our summer. So let me put this coffee down. In fact, my Rise coffee, as a matter of fact. I was actually holding off the final part of cleaning this kitchen, which is running the dishwasher, just so I can speak to you. But I have my dishwasher tablet right here, ready to go. But I thought I would let you know that Mr. Lyons and I made the executive decision to return back to Orlando this upcoming week. So this was a decision that at first felt very difficult to make. I may have mentioned here before, our lifestyle schedule with regards to splitting our time between Orlando and Traverse City is that we usually get here mid-May to like the 3rd week of May, and then we stay until the end of September. And that's exactly what we did last year. It was glorious. It was about 4.5 months. It was just really special. To say that we're leaving about a month and a half before that at first seemed a little heartbreaking, but there were just so many factors that went into place in making this decision. So for one, between Mr. Lyons and I, business just very beautifully got busy. And while I can manage my business from anywhere in the world, quite frankly, and a lot of all of my meetings, most of my meetings are virtual unless I'm needed on site for, a venue tour or a design meeting going into one of my rental warehouses and things like that. I just became increasingly unsettled being away from sort of my home work base, just things that make my work life easier for me on a day-to-day basis. A lot of that is the logistics here, just being in our new old house. Anyway, so that was part of it. Mr. Lyons has some transitions and things happening with his business as well. There's just also a bit of an update with regard to our sweet gaggle, which are our dogs. So I don't know that I've necessarily delved into this before here on the channel, but we do have 4 dogs going from oldest to youngest. Billy is a question mark. So Billy is my Velcro dog. We don't know how old he is. We can speculate, but he's the one that we rescued 3 years ago. He was an animal tested beagle, and then after that he was used as a hunting beagle, and then after that hunting season they left him along with hundreds of hunting dogs in the woods when hunting season was over, because isn't that lovely? Another story for another time. Anyway, I saw his profile on a beagle rescue site that I follow. I follow a few, but one that was local somewhat to Orlando called Southeast Beagle Rescue. I've always loved their ethos. And when I saw him, of course, as in any time, it made zero sense to get another dog at the time. We had lost a dog right before that, but there was just something so compelling about him that I didn't even have to beg Mr. Lyons. I showed it to him, and he was like, "Just let go do it." So we have Billy. Anyway, the rescue site said when we adopted him that he was roughly 8. Our vet was like, that was a great marketing tactic. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we estimate that Billy is closer to about 15 years old. So let's say Billy is the oldest. Then we have Zoe, who is our English lab. I lovingly refer to her as the queen. She's the other one that just sort of just sticks by me all the time. If I'm working, she's at my feet at my desk. When I'm sleeping, she barely goes into her dog bed. She sleeps on my side of the bed. And she does hold court among the other dogs. She is, quite frankly, the queen. Then we have Molly. Molly is also an English lab, and she is 12. Now, Molly has cancer. And we've known that she's had cancer for 2 years. We found out when we returned from Michigan 2 years ago. We noticed that she had dropped quite a bit of weight. We noticed that she was lethargic. We took her into our vet, which took blood tests, then brought us to Blue Pearl, which is a specialty animal hospital, oncology, all the rest. Molly has what's called multiple myeloma. Ironically enough, my brother has multiple myeloma. He is in remission, thank goodness, and he's thriving. And so Molly has been on chemotherapy for the last 2 years, and what seemed like just such a devastating and grim diagnosis for a dog who was only 9 years old at the time. We feel so grateful that we've gotten her to 2 years after that. So my main goal was to get her to the double digits, and now she's 11 years old. So the doctor, her oncologist, has adjusted her medications according to where her blood levels were. A few months ago, she had us take her off the chemotherapy and just keep her on steroids. Then her blood test proved that she needed the chemotherapy again. She improved. And then we brought her to our vet here in Traverse City for the blood work that they ordered from up there down there in Orlando. And unfortunately, it was showing that the chemotherapy is no longer helping Molly, and in fact, it's doing more harm than good. So we've had to take her off of the chemotherapy completely, and now she's only on steroids, prednisone, 5 days a week. It's been 2 weeks that she's been off the chemotherapy. I have to say, for all of you, she is thriving. She's doing great. She wags her tail every day. She's very hungry, thank you, prednisone, very thirsty, and thriving. We're keeping our eye on her, but we also sort of can see what's coming. So I think we also both feel really comfortable having us closer to our home base. Our vet down there, her oncologist down there, and things like that. So then we have Fred Rogers, who we call Freddie, or FredX, or whatever. And comment below how many nicknames you have for your dogs. Give me your dog's name and then all the nicknames you have for them, because I could do a whole video just on the nicknames we have for our dogs. And so Freddie was another rescue beagle that I got from a different rescue site, Tampa Bay Beagle Rescue. And I got him when he was about 4 months old, and I've had him ever since. And then, of course, when I married Mr. Lyons, we merged our packs. So the girls were Mr. Lyons before we met. And then Fred was mine, and we have Billy together. So anyway, we think getting the dogs back home to Orlando, getting us back to Orlando is just sort of the right thing to do at this time. So anyway, the order of the day today is to get organized, to pack the car, to get ready for this trek. The way we're going to take home is a little bit different this time. So I think when I mentioned when we made our way up here, we extended the drive by one more day, which made all the difference in the world, so that we only had 8 and 9 hour days to drive rather than 2 12-hour days, which was just really hard on all of us, dogs included. So we are going to stop in Kentucky first. Then we're going to stop in South Carolina where my brother is, visit my brother, my niece, and my nephew, and I cannot wait. I saw them all like literally 2 days before we came up to Traverse City, so I will relish the chance anytime that we get to see them. And you know, they're oftentimes visiting us in Florida, that it feels really good to visit them in their neck of the woods in South Carolina. So getting some things ready. Now we like to leave a lot of our things here. I mean, we certainly don't travel with an entire household full of things to and fro each time, but there are some things that I got here I just want to make sure I have in Orlando. I can't quite remember exactly what we have there. And one is, you know, I've talked over and over again about my Rise coffee. When I went to Boston a couple weeks ago to visit my friend Nancy as she's going through her cancer treatments, when I've done, just random trips here and there, I actually have one of these in my carry-on because I just don't love coffee anymore, traditional coffee. I absolutely love Rise. I love the taste of it. I love that it doesn't spike my energy and then I crash later. I love that it's healthy. It's got the adaptogens with the mushroom, so we have just the right amount of caffeine. And it's just overall healthier for you. And then of course the creamer that comes with it, which is also mushrooms and probiotics. So I know I have some back at home, but because I have this on a subscription and I just received a delivery this week, which leaves me 2 bags here of each, I want to be safe and have this back at home. So the other thing that I got here is a creamer. It's so funny how I can be so loyal to certain brands or just so fixed in my ways. It's probably more like it. There is a creamer I like to use no matter where I am, and it's Ripple. I scanned it on the Yuka app a couple of years ago, and it's an excellent, it is a non-dairy creamer. Recall, I'm no longer vegan or plant-based, but I was for 6 years, and I take a lot of those sensibilities still into the way I eat and drink today. So while I'm not 100% dairy-free, I try to be as much as possible. Well, there is nowhere in Traverse City that I can find Ripple creamer, the half and half creamer and unflavored. So I take that back. There is one place here. There's a co-op. There's a healthy market here called Oriana. And there's one very, very close to the house here. But it is like $6 more, maybe $8 for the creamer, and I couldn't justify it. So when we were in the car driving up here, I was looking for it on Amazon, and I found these cartons, and I think this came a pack of 6. So it doesn't, until I open it, it does not need to be refrigerated. It is the same exact thing. It is recyclable. All these things are very important to me. I kind of bit the bullet because I think it was just under $40 to get it, and I was like, honestly, Lisa, $40 for creamer? No, but it's great. It turns out I've been going through like one a month, and I would have gone through all of these if we had stayed through the end of September like we had planned, but we're not. So I was going to leave them here, but it expires in April, and while I know we'll be back for like random long weekends, like we want to come back here in the autumn to see the leaves and things like that, I just didn't want to waste it. So I have 4 of these, and I'm going back home with these as well. So these are great. So anyway, I need to get started on the rest of my day. I've been very, very consistent with my walks. The weather certainly helps that. I'm trying to brace myself to get used to the weather in Orlando. I know it's going to be hard. But I'm committed. Anyway, so just to make myself feel better about a random ho-hum day, organizing to get ready to go back to Orlando. Still kind of wanted to dress the part. I'm going to take a walk in this. This is one of my athleisure sets that I got from Birdie Golf. Maybe it's already a year, 2 years ago? A year and a half. This stuff is still on the website. They have a very small sort of inventory or style collection, but they are somewhat investment pieces. But when I tell you the other pieces I've had for 4 years, and this is going nowhere either. So this is actually 2 pieces. I love the cap sleeve. I love the mock neck here. This is a skirt. Yeah, and it's super, super fun. It's got that dry tech wicking, wet wicking sort of material, and I feel great in it at the same time. Every time I'm just doing random errands in it, I get compliments on it all the time. Every time I wear a birdie outfit. So let's head upstairs and assess the closet situation. I'm feeling very much like I don't want to take anything with me, but I also want to be realistic. So let's get going. Now might be a good time for an introduction of the dogs. So this is Billy. Billy is, like I mentioned, our senior rescue. Hi, little boy. And we've also noticed this summer with Billy, I told you, he is my Velcro dog. We've noticed that his sight is getting compromised. So we can see him just standing in a room oftentimes and not knowing where to go. Fred often will be his guide. We've noticed that. So yeah, so this is our little guy. Anyway, so we're going here. Now this over here, now he just came in from outside, so he's very hot and tired. This is Fred. Hi, Freddie. He's the sweetest, sweetest boy. Hopefully we'll get his face to come in here. He has the most soulful eyes. He is such a beautiful soul. He is the one that can pick up on my feelings and my just state of emotional affairs. And yeah, he was just outside for a long time. Now, here's another tricky part. Freddie is very, very healthy. He's our youngest. He's going to be 9 next month. He is, hi, sweetheart. Hi, Papa. Look at this boy. Look at that face. Oh, he's a little suspicious right now, but you don't need to be. Here's the tricky part. He is very, very, very bonded with Molly. So we often have to sneak Molly out of the house when she has a doctor's appointment because he will scream and scream for the entirety that we're gone to be reunited with her. They are very, very bonded. Not just him with her, but her with him. But I will say him on the more side. He just honestly can't live without Molly. And this is, I'm going to be honest with you, a great concern of ours. So, yeah, the girls, I think Zoe's hiding over here. Let's go meet Zoe. Here's my queen. So the queen, being the queen that she is taking refuge on a cool floor. Today is a warmer day. It's going to be 86 today, although it's not even quite 80 degrees yet. My queen, what are you doing in here? Anyway, she is truly, I don't want to say the love of my life because they all are. They really are. But this is the one that just doesn't leave my side. What we've noticed with Zoe this summer is that she's having hip problems. So if I take you out here to the deck, you'll see why. We noticed that she's having a really difficult time with the stairs. And we really thought it would be Billy. Now, Billy does have a hard time with the stairs. He's just learned how to navigate them better, or is better equipped to. We actually, Mr. Lyons put in these like little mini steps here so Billy can kind of get up and down. But the queen is really struggling with it. This is Molly. And I told you, she's still wagging her tail and she's still super happy. And as long as she is, we're going to enjoy it. Oh, they see the neighbor dog, or hear the neighbor dog. So they're going to say hi. Well, you tell everyone that you are a fighter. See, here's the queen. She's going to try to struggle to get down the stairs. She won't go all the way down unless she really has to. So, see, this is how I know she's, oh, yeah, she lost her little balance there. Okay, now that I've finished just sort of a blitz of straightening up the house and cleaning up the kitchen and getting things in order and sort of an outline of what I need to do today and tomorrow to prepare to leave, I'm taking a little break and maybe procrastinating a little bit. But I'll tell you what, a couple of years ago, my friend Jacob with the Floral Way got me absolutely hooked on this stuff. The Tropicino, but it has the lime with mint. It is just the perfect pick-me-up, like in the middle of the day. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon at this point, and I just love it. It just like, again, just sort of revigorates me, brings me back to life. But well, I sit here and rest for a few minutes because I have a feeling the pace of the next couple of days are going to be pretty rapid. I'm sitting here in our family room and I'm just reflecting back about this time last month when we were embarking on this move into our home, and even though we knew we would only be here for just the remainder of the summer, and you know, we have impending renovations coming up and things are going to drastically change within this house, God willing soon enough. And that was, you know, sort of another reason for us to try to skedaddle, is we really would like to, once the architect gets all of the drawings in place, we would really like for the contractors to move in and sort of do the demo, frame up the house, get that all done by winter so that we can plug in the details and hopefully move back in the spring. I feel like this is a very lofty goal, but I feel like we have like-minded professionals we're bringing on. So let's see if we can reach the finish line together. Anyway, I'm just reflecting here, thinking about how we were just sort of trying to figure out how we would make our things fit in this home while we were in here. And it was very, very important to me and my husband that this place not just be livable for our summer here, but also feel cozy. I feel like that is the foundation for everything we do with regard to design for ourselves. I would even say I even stretch that even in my weddings that I design for my clients. Even though they can lean on the luxury side, I always want that element of cozy. I want that familiarity and that comfort that goes with just falling in love with the space. I thought I'd show you, I don't think I ever have, how we sort of put things together. And I will say also, I've been alone quite a bit here as Mr. Lyons travels back and forth for work. And I've noticed, despite all of the channels and the networks that we pay to stream, do you know, with at least any Samsung TV, and I believe it's all TVs, if you go to the universal television, meaning back in the old days, which is how we would just watch TV, if you go back to the universal channel, there is a channel that you don't have to pay for. You may notice if you turn on your television and whatever streaming app you have, it just automatically defaults to something in the background. That's the universal television. Well, I noticed that there is a Martha Stewart channel on there. And so when I tell you that's just playing in the background more oftentimes than not, at this point, my husband doesn't even mind that I'm playing it while he's home. It's just very soothing, and it reminds me, I remember falling in love with everything Martha Stewart in the 90s, just before my first daughter was born. And I can even specifically remember the episode. And I believe it was on PBS at the time. So funny, this is full circle. So I've just sort of been watching those videos, and it just reminds me that having a beautiful home and having a beautiful space just doesn't require money. Like, obviously there's money in keeping up any home, but I hope you know what I mean by that. It's not defined by wealth, and certainly her properties are stunning and gorgeous and extremely expensive. But I think the ethos here is more about what you do to nurture your home, to make it your own. And it's not about collecting new things per se. If that is what you love to do, then yes, that makes the home beautiful to you. But it's sort of curating what makes the home you and reflective of the people that are living in it, and the way you take care of it. So I think that's sort of what's carried us over here into the new old house. So I am sat in the family room, as I mentioned. You can see sort of the dining room over here. That is my Facebook Marketplace find. And I knew about Facebook Marketplace, but I've really, really embraced it this summer. And I really super embraced it once I got to know a good friend of mine who also works with me, Danny. She is the Facebook Market Queen. In fact, I sent her that listing before I bought it, and I was like, should I? And it was like an immediate yes. Anyway, so I thought I'd show you. We have hung up pictures here. We have accents. We have things, of course, there are certain things that are temporary, but I thought I'd show you how even though the house is far from the way we ideally would like it, and we didn't put any more money into this house than what it took to buy it and move in, how it is quite lovely. And it feels like home already to us. But all this to say, I don't know if I've mentioned this, we are living in the downstairs only. I do work upstairs. I take my meetings up there, I do my work up there, but we are living downstairs. So we actually are sleeping, all of us, in what used to be a home office here. And this was something I truly could not visualize our furniture fitting in here, and not all of it does, but I'll show you the tour in just a moment. Okay, so right when you come in the door, we have a bench that used to be in the rental, and we left it in there, but boy, it really is perfect here. The dog food doesn't usually sit here. We usually have it a little bit more tidy, let's just say. But again, we're planning to pack the car up today and see, and we have all the hooks. Just like Orlando, I swear, I think all the hooks are literally just for my husband's hats. It's making me a little low-key crazy, but here you have it. Just these things. I don't know if you remember, there were these horrendous like doorknob kind of hooks here. I don't know why they incensed me so, but they did. And then this great basket. My husband just kind of drops his wallet in here, his keys, anything he needs, so that he has that at the ready, and more importantly, doesn't lose them and start calling across the house for me to find them. Here is the dining room. You've seen this before. We have the map that's not staying there, even if this wall stays here. It doesn't belong here, but it happened to fit whatever holes were in here already. And yeah, it is a great sort of addition here. And I styled the table. Don't mind what's on the table. We are also installing a great deal of security on the house as we leave. Little bar cart. I always love to style a bar cart. We have that in place. Got this picture here. And maybe I have showed you this, because I remember talking to you about the Mackinac Bridge and how sort of serendipitous it was to see that we had this picture all along, and how it fits beautifully here in the new home. And then, yeah, our furniture is quite tightly packed in, as is Miss Zoe snoozing here. Billy over here. We have two of the dog beds here. Another lovely photo that we hung up. The TV never could mount on the wall there. The bracket was too loose. So this is something, you know, we may possibly donate or put in a guest room later, but this is a temporary fix so that we have the TV on something. We were balancing it on two of our dining room chairs, and that wasn't ideal either. So we have some books over here, and that works really, really well. And so now we go here again. More photos on the wall. It just feels really good and settling, and it feels less temporary when we do this. Here is the room in question. This was the home office. Do you believe we got our king-size bed in here with the bed frame? I didn't even think we'd get the headboard and footboard in here. What we could not fit, obviously, was, let me back out a little bit, our nightstands. Those are in the garage. So I had sort of this martini table in our family room before, and I had this wood table, sorry Freddie, over in the guest room. So I'm using those for nightstands right now. Don't mind the bed. I'm charging my Kindle, so I have something to read on the road trip. My needlepoint, all of my work there, just because I don't want to bring it upstairs, just to bring it back downstairs. And our dresser even fit in here. So nice. I can see my husband is already lining up the things he wants. He has developed this knife, like switch knife, pocket knife obsession, he and his brother, and they literally buy each other knives, I feel like, every single month. But I love that they share that together, and it seems to be a new passion of his. So it's all good there. And here from the original tour, when I showed you it was empty, that's the basement. We don't really put anything there. I hang my broom there and a mop on a hook there. We keep their toys right here. Here's the little doggy feeding station. Molly's keeping cool. She's resting after being out there. Our stemware. cookbooks, and we tried to style the kitchen as best as we could. And that's my staging area for all the things I want to pack for food over here. Hesitated showing you the bathroom, but you know what? This may serve as a great before and after for once we have everything done. But I was getting ready today. I was out of the shower and I thought, boy, this reminds me, for those of you who have been on a cruise, it low-key reminds me of being in a cruise ship bathroom. It's really, really tight. And then like even just to close the door, I have to like move over here. The tub, it's a whole thing. But honestly, it's been working. It's fine. Here are my things. By the way, my cosmetics and all of this, leaving behind. I have this all in Orlando for the most part. Everything I have except for the Olivia. And I think I talked about the Olivia in my last video. I'm obsessed with this stuff. But you know what? I'm getting a whole new set for over there. I'm never going to be without my Olivia. This way I just don't have to travel back and forth with all of these things. I know where they are and where they will be. And then, not that we did much here, but just to show you how creative we had to get, this is overflow for pantry, and it also serves, don't mind, this is recycling I have to take out. So we could only fit our microwave here, all of our entertaining pieces here, washer, dryer, all the fun stuff, and also that's the other side, and that's the bathroom. But yeah, not gonna lie, we were living the dream nonetheless. We know how fortunate we are. Very grateful. But yeah, I think it's cozy. It's very cozy in here. Make our way upstairs. So I've started to prepare. I think these are the only shoes I'll come back with. I just piled them all in the middle here. I'm still uncertain about taking the vibration plate. It seems like a pretty significant size. And again, we have to fit the 4 dogs in there. We have a big cooler. We have a Yeti cooler that we're bringing our refrigerated items in, so I just don't know. Anyway, here's my closet. I think I really did assess this. I'm only taking right what's in here. Those are the things I feel like I sort of cannot live without in Orlando. And I mentioned Birdie, their athletic wear, their sportswear before. These 2 gingham pieces are Birdie. Those are the ones that I've had for 4 years. There's no way I could leave those here. I bring those on my walks all the time. So even the bags I'm going to leave. Side note, this was a recent Facebook Marketplace find that I am taking back to Orlando because this so reflects the design we have there. And I think I know exactly where I want to put this. It's from England. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, but I guess this woman was also running an estate sale. It took me a week to get this platter. So it was listed for $50. I didn't negotiate. I was going to pay her $50, but she acknowledged that it was not the easiest transaction. So I got it for $40, and I feel really great about this. I think this is going to go on a shelf that I have over our dining room that has some other blue and white items, and also use it for entertaining. I just love it. Perhaps in another procrastination move, I decided to take a break from everything at the house and go for a walk. But I would say going for a 3-mile walk is a health benefit and not quite procrastination. So I decided to walk around the neighborhood for a bit. I've already gone for about 2.5 miles. And I decided to walk downtown one last time, at least for the summer, and stop at my favorite sort of watering hole and eatery right over here, Outpost. It has my favorite veggie sandwiches. They have great salads and grab-and-go areas. And I'm thinking about even stopping here, if it's open before we leave, to get some picky bits for the ride. They have a beautiful like broccolini Caesar salad in a little container. That'll be nice to nosh on the road. Stay relatively healthy, as I try to do even when displaced and like a moving gypsy for 3 days. But anyway, they have here my favorite matcha, and what I like about their matchas is they don't sweeten it terribly, and they do something different that I have not been able to replicate anywhere else, and that is one of their options for milk to add to your matcha is pistachio cream, and that's exactly what I have in here right now. It adds a very mild nuttiness to it, as well as making it creamy and delectable. And it's iced, and it's about 84 degrees today, which is quite warm for here, and so it feels so refreshing. And yeah, I'm just gonna miss this place for the summer so much, but I'm not really focusing on that. I'm focusing on how much I've enjoyed it, and we always come back. Hello friends, good morning, welcome back. It is Sunday, and despite the procrastination, which may have appeared yesterday, we've made really great progress. I have made really great progress. So I'm upstairs in my home office now, which was used as the primary bedroom, but remember, we're living downstairs. And I don't know if I mentioned yesterday, but living downstairs like that, the way we have, is about 700 square feet. So you can imagine how cozy and intimate it has been. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. Mr. Lyons has already packed the car and sort of arranged the dog beds like in puzzle pieces, so that part is good. I don't think we'll unload or sort of pack the cooler until early morning or something like that, but my goal is to get everything in these 3 bags here. So that is my tried and true carry-on that I bring all the time everywhere. This is actually supposed to be like a beauty valise of sorts. I've been using it as a computer bag. I don't like backpacks, and I don't like for me, I don't like backpacks, and the shoulder bags, the shoulder laptop bags, they're great, but I needed something with wheels, and so that's great. It has the wheels and it also has the sleeve, so I could take the carry-on and the laptop bag all in one and just roll it. It's easy breezy, just the way I like it. And then just sort of that bag there, right with my initials, that just sort of has all of my tech stuff. It has my camera stuff, it has all of my chargers for the laptop, everything. I just like to keep it in a hard case there. I just know anything tech is right then and there. So I feel like today it is later in the day, it's later in the afternoon, we have been enjoying sort of, I think I'm being a little dramatic with it. Mr. Lyons is like, you know, Lisa, we're coming back. And I'm like, I know, but we're trying to enjoy our last little TC favorites. So he golfed at his club this morning, and I'm so glad he did. It's a beautiful day. I've certainly enjoyed the day. I went on that walk, and it's just this weekend, not just today. We went on Friday to our favorite restaurant here, Modern Bird. I personally had not been all summer, so that felt really great to do. Obviously went to the Outpost for my matcha. Gonna go again in a little bit. Gonna go again tomorrow when we hit the road. Yeah, just sort of embracing it all. Of course, you know, the most glorious days pop up right when you're about to leave, but I'm not looking at it like that. I just feel so incredibly grateful that we can even be here at all, let alone for months at a time, and we will be back in the autumn. So anyway, I'm going to continue. I just realized that this vlog is getting a bit long, so I do want to wrap it up for you, but I did want to say, maybe I'll show you the car and sort of how you can see how comical it will look as we drive literally down south across, like from the top of the country to the bottom of the country, to get back home. But just wanted to touch a little bit on, like, I know how I showed you the dogs yesterday, and I love that. They are my family, they are my children. I am a huge dog lover. Anyone who knows me knows that. It almost hurts how much I love dogs, and that was a main reason also why Mr. Lyons and I were so drawn to each other. But I realized that the decision for us to go early in great part was because of the dogs, particularly Molly's health, and Zoe's hips are aging. I could just feel like she's getting older before our eyes. Billy is going blind. We have 3 seniors. We're looking at the reality of all of this. So we just feel comfortable being on home base there. But also because influencer Isabel Klee with Simon Sits, I've followed her for years. And I showed you a couple of months ago how I'm reading her book and everything. Well, her dog Simon transitioned this weekend, and it just has had me on such an emotional roller coaster, as well as the entire sort of dog community, rescue community, foster community, dog loving community. So sort of in honor of Simon, I've been hanging on to her book, reading other books in the meantime, but I sat on the porch for the better part of this weekend. and finished the book. I finished it yesterday morning, and as I understand it, that's exactly when he transitioned. So it's just had me up and down and reflective, and I don't know, I just love my dogs so much. So we're gonna always do what's best for them, but alas, let's show you the madness on how we get from the very tippy top of Michigan to almost the central part, well, not the bottom of Florida, the central part of Florida. Make it loud, it's dinner time. Billy gets water in his bowl because he has 4 teeth, and it makes it easier for him to eat that way. Billy loves to sing for his supper. Last supper in Michigan. And that's how we do it. Okay, so you can see from here, we have a large, like king-size dog bed right here. We have a donut. Billy usually likes to be in the donut, or at least that's what we like to tell ourselves. A lot of times he'll be in this bed by himself because he's just like that. Fred and Molly are always together. Like I said, he is extremely bonded and codependent on Molly. And then we have this bed here that can also fit 2, maybe like Fred and Billy, but the labs are obviously bigger. And we'll see. This seat is up because we will tend to put the cooler here or any sort of snacks or anything we need in reach. We always bring a gallon of water with us per ride because at every stop we fill the water bowl for them so they can hydrate and drink water. And then we have the whole floor here as well where I can put sort of my bags. I'm looking at all this now and I honestly don't know how we fit it all because we still have my suitcase, all the suitcases I showed you, a like 64-gallon Yeti cooler and stuff. So let's see how this pans out. Okay friends, I am now sat on our front porch. I've done a lot of the heavy lifting. I just sort of have to toss things in bags now. And then my husband can get them in the car, but I am enjoying this evening on the front porch. This has arguably been one of my favorite things about this house. I have my morning coffee here. I have read my books here. I love to people watch here. Everyone's so friendly and waves. Lots of good dogs. It's the perfect, it's my happy place here at the house. I have my beautiful flowering hanging baskets. And we're leaving those with a neighbor. She's keeping an eye on the house, as well as the massive security system my husband has seemed to have put into place here, which is great. And I just realized that I have once again put on this fabulous dress that I showed you last week in last week's video from Chill Linen. This is the one that just sort of reminds me of like Provence. It just reminds me of France, and because it is a warmer day, it feels wonderful, and it's so lightweight and comfortable because of the linen. This will definitely be making its way back to Orlando with me. I may very well and likely have it on the car ride. It is that comfortable to wear in the car for extended periods of time. But for now, I am enjoying my glass of rosé here on the front porch, feeling so grateful for the couple of months that we've had here this summer, feeling so grateful for my dogs and my family and all the rest. I'm just super reflective today. But yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to this video and hit the like button. It would mean so much to me. And also, if you've made it this far, I think I mentioned it earlier in the video, go ahead and share with me if you have a pet. It doesn't have to be a dog. It could be a cat, it could be a goldfish, it can be whatever. Comment with your pet's name and then all of the nicknames you have for said pet. I may put mine in the comments as well. Anyway, cheers to you friends. Thank you as always for being with me, and I look forward to seeing you in next week's video. Bye-bye.